What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Latin Explaining. My name is Denise Gonzalez. For those who do not know me, for those who do, welcome, guys. It's nice to be here again. I know we're on a different schedule, like I said before. I apologize for last Sunday. Many of you guys know. If you don't know, you're going to find out. But last Sunday, I had my second dose of the C19 jab, and oh my God. It was insane. I couldn't do anything, pretty much anything till like Wednesday. And to be honest with you, it was hell. So if you got your job or if you're in the process of getting it and you live in one of the states that is forcing you to get it, oh my God. If I would pray, I'll be praying for you. That's all I'm going to say, guys. I want to give a huge shout out to Culturally Castizo, to Jose, to Rizzo Realm, to Cristina Morena, to Hispano and Cultural. Thank you for starting the chat. Welcome. I hope every single one of you is having an amazing weekend. I'm saying hi here from steamy hot California. Yes, you're hearing right. California for the I don't know, it's taking a break on the winter and the fall temperatures being in the high 90s in this past week. It was crazy, to be honest with you. Like I said, thank you guys for sticking with me. It's standard now, and I want to make it clear from now on, Latin Explaining will be only on the weekends, Saturday at 12 and every Sunday at 2 p.m. Tomorrow, we're going to have another show. So during the week, do your thing, stay productive, just like as much as I am, because, of course, for professional reasons, I'm not going to be able to be on my old schedule for now. So I'm gonna do it on the weekends. Of course, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, like, I don't know if I can watch you on that time. But if not, don't worry. You can catch me on the replay. I'm not going anywhere. I am here. And trust me, we have a lot, a lot to discuss. Hi, Rakim. Morena is like, dang, 90s? Not even Texas that warm. Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday, it was 96 degrees. I kid you not. It's so crazy. Like, it went from 60 and 50s to like 90s this week. And the weekend is getting hotter and hotter. I don't know what the hell is going on. Right now, we're on a drought official crisis, to the point that you cannot water your lawn on specific times and whatnot because we have no water. It's been the driest year I've seen here in California. It's insane. But guys, like I said, thank you guys for starting the chat. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get this show started.
To the next level.
Speaking of dry and droughts and whatnot, I'm going to be addressing things that are happening here in California. And you know, this show is going to be hilarious. I promise you that. It's going to be funny. We're going to laugh a lot about the hypocrisy of some of our politicians and whatnot, including AOC. But speaking of that, like Gavin Newsom, man, like this dude cannot stop like amazing me or driving me insane. He literally said, give me 1 second, because I want you guys to actually see this for what it is. But he literally said some stuff that, oh my God, look, on a tweet, there was this dude that said Newsom is now asking a court of appeals here in California to remove the vaccine mandate for a union that gave him $1.75 million. Every other mandate needs to go immediately. And to be honest with you, like at first when I saw the tweet, I was like, what he's talking about? Like the last time I checked, here in California, everybody needs to be vaccinated. And like a lot of people are being mandated, you know, whether I didn't have to. The only reason I took that is because, you know, I'm going back to health and I'm working out after recovering from my injury. It's been a few years now. And I just want to get back in track and rehabilitate my leg. So, of course, you know, everybody else, like aside from the gym, I didn't have any other reason why I needed to get vaccinated, because I'm completely fine with just cooking at home and not going out. Like I'm completely fine with that. But I obviously, you know, could not stand that they were going to take the gym from me. So I looked deeper into this, and it reminded me something that a friend of mine said. If you don't follow I Am Dima, to follow him, he's hilarious. But he literally said this to me like 18 months ago, like legit. He literally said that the worst person for California was Gavin Newsom on his YouTube channel. And that was hilarious to me, because I knew I was not very fond of Gavin Newsom. He has had some very good points, to be honest, that I said, okay, you know, this is going in the right direction. But then he does like 10 wrong things. And that's why I was like, are you sure that, yeah, but you know, after a while, I started seeing through the bullshit and started agreeing more and more with him. And I looked deep into this and I found out that it is true. San Francisco Gate reported that Gavin Newsom, who said Democrats should lean into vaccine mandates, is asking the Court of Appeals in the state of California to halt one mandate. And you might ask yourself why. And they said on the article, California Governor Gavin Newsom, who previously said that Democratic politicians should lean into C-19 policies, such as vaccine mandates, and issued the nation's first such mandate for school children, is trying to get the federal courts to hold a vaccine mandate for prison guards. And you may ask yourself, what's so special about prison guards that he's holding this stuff? And basically the state prisons guard union, a group that donated 1.75 million to Newsom in September's recall election. Let's not forget that this dude was so corrupt that the state wanted to kick him out, and a lot of people voted to have him recalled, myself included. I sent my petition and whatnot. Now, one thing that the article digs up is that he had argued against the vaccine mandate. The union had argued against the vaccine mandate along with the Newsom administration. California Matters reported that Wednesday that Newsom administration has formally moved forward with the appealing the judge's order to the Ninth Circuit in an attempt to block the mandate. And let's not forget, like I said, this is not the first time that we're seeing that Gavin Newsom is actually like super, super, super freaking corrupt. Like, to be honest with you, it's like insane. Insane. Yes, Morena, California is becoming a desert, in all honesty. But to be honest with you, it's just insane. It's like Culturally Castizo saying, yeah, man, sue the Biden administration. They're in violation of our liberties. Absolutely. Like, to be honest with you, now the Fifth Circuit, I believe, it's halting his nationwide mandate for companies. I don't even know what he's sticking his nose in, what private companies do with their employees, but that shouldn't have been done in the first place. And the more people are drinking the Kool-Aid, the more it's like scary, because people are not understanding. Okay, you might think, I'm not anti-vaxxer. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your body. But one thing that we must remember is that today you might agree with that people should be vaccinated. But tomorrow, something that you don't agree with could be mandated, and you're not going to agree with that, and you're going to be forced. That is the danger of this thing. And if you're not seeing the writing in the wall, I don't know what to do with you. I don't know what to do with you. I see that Jose says, without the unions, there will be no middle class. Yeah, I'm not here attacking the unions. What I'm saying is that the hypocrisy of this governor of just advocating for the people that give him money. This union in particular wanted to keep him in place for a reason. And I mean, if you can't see through the bullshit, like, I have no respect for you, because you only make things possible as long as I'm giving you money. And let's not forget that Gavin Newsom has had other issues when it comes to people that donate him money, or people that give money to charities that he quote unquote endorses. And speaking of, more of this bullshit about, the vaccine mandates, I wanted to highlight something that I didn't have the opportunity to talk about on a previous show, and it's how the Biden's vaccine mandate is blocked by the federal court, basically the Fifth Circuit in Texas, with jurisdiction over Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and gives his administration until Monday to respond. That was this past Monday. 3 U.S. Fifth District Court of Appeals judges issue a state on President Joe Biden's latest COVID-19 vaccine mandates. The mandate requires private companies with more than 100 or more employees to impose vaccine mandates on their workers by January 4th. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, South Carolina, and Utah had filed a petition to block the mandate, which will more than 84 million workers. The whole comes as 11 Republican states also issued lawsuits against the mandate. The White House has until Monday to respond, and the states can apply for a permanent hold on Tuesday. To be honest with you, this is the precedent that we needed, and I am so glad that it's happening. I'm so glad that we live in a society that is still maintaining like a centric view on things. Like I said, I'm not taking away from the fact that right now, as of today, I'm not talking about the future or that the pill that's being said, but as of today, the best approach that we have to this disease, this virus, is the vaccine. But it should be voluntary. It should not be forced, because there's also other things. Like myself, for example, I survived C-19, even though I have other conditions that could have potentially harmed me. I survived it because I ingest high levels of vitamin D due to my injury. So that worked on my benefit, and that has been proven that it works, among a lot of other things that off-label work for C19 patients and whatnot. So it should not be mandatory, especially in a country that prides itself on being a free country. So let me know what you think about this whole thing with the mandates and all this stupidity and whatnot. Like it's just crazy to me. It's hilarious at the same time. Radical, what's up? Radical said Denise is being paid by the right. She's dangerous. Take the job and don't question anything. Lord, I'm telling you, I saw the video that Christina did the other day, and I feel for Christina because, like I said, I was forced to take this vaccine that, of course, we put a lot of junk in our bodies, and I get it. We eat those fried tostones and whatnot, and what's a vaccine compared to all of that. But you're supposed to decide if you want to. We're not fighting the medicine here. What we're fighting is the fact that you're using your position of power to force people to do something that they might not want to freaking do. It's insane. I don't get it. I see that Cultural Castiza says, how is California tourism right now? This vaccine mandate surely does hinder the visitation. It's a good thing they're taking it to the courts, right? It can only fight politics with, yeah, absolutely. To be honest with you, there's a lot of people, like I said, that have drank the Kool-Aid of taking it and just, telling other people that, okay, let's take the risk. And I find it funny that a lot of people take the risk today on many things like this vaccine, but to be honest with you, they don't take risks that matter. Like, okay, let me take the risk with this medicine and roll the dice, but I'm not going to take the risk with, for example, marriage. I'm not going to take the risk with having a child. I'm not going to take the risk of starting a business. I'm not going to take the risk of working my ass off. I'm not going to take the risk of buying a house. But they have all this energy to come at the people that don't believe this should be forced and come tell you, hey, come here and do something that we don't know. We don't have enough data yet that could potentially mess you up, because I did it. And it's insane and it's great. Just take it, So it's like I said, it's, oh my God, it's something that I don't understand, to be honest with you. But what can we do? What can we do? And before people tell me, like, oh, it's been FDA approved, what the hell is wrong with you, blah, 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 blah. And let me tell you something. On an average, and don't take my word for it, if you think that because it's FDA approved, I'm sorry, that this makes it like this amazing thing that has this seal of approval. And like I said, I'm not being anti-vaccine. I'm just being here with facts. If you think that that gives it a seal of approval that is safe for you, let me remind you on a curious fact, in case you don't know. Every year, on average, 1,279 drugs are recalled from the FDA approval seal in this nation. Every year, 1,279 drugs get recalled. Okay, so don't come at me with the bullshit. And like I said, you don't take my word for it. Go look for this information yourself. Every year, at least almost 1,300 drugs get recalled from the FDA. So do not come at me with the seal of approval, blah, and all this stuff. We still don't know even what long-term consequences COVID-19 are going to have in our bodies, how it's going to change it, let alone, this whole new medicine. Radical Latina says, Tina will be okay. Her OnlyFans is going to blow up. Oh, come on, right? Christina's going to throw a cyber chancla at you. Radical says, FDA recalls are wild. Approval don't mean anything. I hope I grow up bat wings from this jab. Well, who knows? To this point, like, you never know. You never know. And to be honest with you, I like what Marina says here, not surprising, the FDA is a joke, 100. I'm going to say something that people don't understand. The FDA is a public agency that you can go and work and approve a drug and surprisingly be corrupt by it. Like the FDA is super corrupt because I can work, for example, let's say I work on the department that approves these drugs. And I'm not saying that this is what's happening, but to be honest with you, if I get, a little beefed up and whatnot, after I approve that drug, I can easily go and work for that company, that pharmaceutical company, and have a signing bonus and work for them and make a lot of money simply because I approved their drug and now people are crowding to come buy it. And if you don't believe me, look up how it happened with OxyContin. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Like I said, people, I don't know what the hell is going on with people, but to be honest with you, open your freaking eyes and start becoming an American or get the hell out of there, because America is supposed to pride itself on freedom. And that's the least that we are right now. Radical says, I'm going to have the radical jab and you better take it. It will protect you from Anglo-Hispanics. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. It is insane. This is insane. And speaking of insane, one thing that I highlighted, to be honest, is that I admire a lot Robbie Draco Rosa. Like if you're Puerto Rican, you know who I'm talking about. If you don't, listen to his song Más y Más. And if you love Ricky Martin in the late 90s, early 2000s, all of those songs, well, the majority, were written and, by Robbie Draco Rosa. That's how amazing person he is. And I love something that he said recently regarding his concert, why he decided not to do his concert in Puerto Rico, because the mandates are just as tough as here in California. And I want you guys to hear what he had to say about it.
Por el tema, aprovecho este momento. Yo he querido tocar acá en vivo y ha sido difícil por una regla que ha establecido el gobierno de uno tener que vacunarse. Y yo lo único a ustedes que están presentes, hay una narrativa del mainstream, que sea por CNN, por los canales principales, y pues hay unos grandes intereses envueltos. Y sé que, no sé si conocen, pero hay una aplicación que se llama Telegram, y algunos de ustedes sí conocen a Telegram. ¿Ya? Good. Ahí pues se dan cuenta un poco de lo que está pasando en el mundo, en Australia. Vamos, hay muchas verdades que se están compartiendo ahí. Espero que entiendan eso y les deseo suerte. Yo espero poder tocar en vivo en algún lado, pero con esas reglas me cuesta, así que a lo mejor tendré que tocar en casa. And that's okay, fuck it, Yeah. Sí, gracias. Ya ha sido difícil porque ahí en lo que es el Coca-Cola Music Hall pues tienen unas reglas radicales. Puedes creer lo que te dé la gana, y por lo general nosotros escuchamos y regurgitamos, somos pocos que hacemos investigación. Y hoy en día yo siempre digo que el PhD del día está en tu teléfono, ¿no? Anything you want to know, you can find out. Obviamente el mainstream me interesa que ahí está la mentira, pero it's not true. Espero que tomen tiempo y tomen esas decisiones. Yo voy a ustedes, especialmente a los papás, que el tema de forzarle a...
So basically, for those who don't understand Spanish, it's basically just saying, look at Radical. It's like, oh, chat, he said my name. Radical, they're gonna now say that the slow tips are gonna say you have Robbie Draco Rosa on payroll. But to be honest with you, he basically said that he wanted to play on the Coca-Cola Music Hall in Puerto Rico, and unfortunately, because they're forcing the crew also to have the vaccine as a mandate, like he's not going to do it because he doesn't want to be responsible for forcing people to make a decision, especially when there's a lot of information out there what's happening around the world. And so look at Cultura y Castizo say, Tipo, dio un shout out to Radical Latino. Yeah, he shout out Radical. To be honest with you guys, I don't know what the heck is going to happen. There's a lot of people that by December 4th will lose their jobs if they're not fully vaccinated, including police, firefighters, and whatnot here in the state of California. It's extremely sad to see this happening. And there's a lot of protests happening every day. I plan to join a few, to be honest with you, because I believe in freedom and that people should be entitled to, if they want to jump off a building, they should be entitled to do so if they want to. And we should not intervene with what people do. And to all the people that love to like criticize and say a lot of things to me and send me stupid DMs saying like, oh, like you're spreading misinformation and whatnot. Come on now. Come on now. Use it. Fuck. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. Radical says, no lie, this forced jab is unconstitutional. There should be lawsuits after. Absolutely. And trust me, even if I get a dime, I will for sure join whatever lawsuit this state gets for the stuff that they're doing, to be honest with you, because it's just out of control. It's absolutely out of control, and it needs to be stopped at some point. It needs to be stopped, and I'm all for it. So if you're in the state of California, you know about any protests happening, any movement, any class action, whatever the hell you want, let me know, and I will join you, even if you're a slow tap, because I believe on freedom. And one thing I would say before I close the news today, I want to give a shout out to, if you guys haven't watched my interview with the Lion Man, El León Fiscalizador from Puerto Rico, I want to give a shout out to him. If you pray, keep him on your prayers. If you don't pray, then send him good vibes. Go visit his platform and send him good vibes. He was recently attacked while investigating some corruption that's happening in the island. I will have more insight on that tomorrow. Hopefully, I will bring him on so he can explain to us exactly what happened, what's being done, and whatnot. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. I will bring the Lion Man if I can here so he can explain us and you can hear from himself what happened. But to be honest with you, I will be posting on my Instagram later the incident that happened to him so that you guys are aware of what happened. It's very unfortunate that you try to bring actual information in real time to the corruption that's happening, and people come at you with violence and attack you. So definitely, guys, that has been all for today for news. Let's keep it moving because I have more things to share, and we definitely have to get to AOC. Guys, the music sector is popping. The music sector is popping, and one of the things that I mean by that is there's a lot of music being put out, but I want to focus first. I'm going to start with the bad news. You have, at this point, you have all heard about what's going on with Astrofest, Astro War, and whatnot. Like, I reported on it last Saturday, and like I said, everything that I said, like if you didn't listen to duty calls on last Saturday, trust me, you want to tune in because you want to listen what I said, and it has come to happen. And I'm not trying to say that I got it right. Like, this is something that many people are seeing. When I said we need to put people like Travis Scott and Alec Baldwin out of circulation, like, I have zero sympathy for what's happening to Travis Scott right now. And I've heard a lot of views from people blaming the parents for bringing teenagers and 9-year-olds and 14-year-olds. And I get that. I finally got that point. I get it. You should not be underage and on these rave parties because there's a lot of drugs and craziness involved. But let's not be oblivious and stupid when it comes to this stuff. Like, to be honest with you, Travis Scott knew and is notorious, has even been charged with misdemeanors before for having this outrageous, riots at his fest. Let's call it what it is. Because let's not forget, I think it was 2016. Correct me if I'm wrong, if it was 2016 or 2017 that he was charged with a misdemeanor because a person died at one of his concerts before. Because he's always like, rage or go home, whatnot. And he's always inciting the public to like trample security, get in, get crazy, do this, do that, without thinking about the repercussions that this is going to have in the public that listens to him. Well, now he's getting lawsuits up his ass to the point that even his public presence right now, it's the equivalent of shit. So to be honest with you, people are booing people that play his music. I saw a party where they were playing, like a DJ was playing one of his songs and people started booing him. And to be honest with you, right now they're saying that with the amount of lawsuits that are coming his way, this could cost Travis Scott not millions, but $1 billion or more dollars. So to be honest with you, I don't feel sorry for Travis. I don't think he should get canceled, but I do think that we need to put him out of circulation until he understands that with great power comes great responsibility. And the same thing goes for Alec Baldwin. Like, before you come for me thinking like, oh, you're being racist or you're being this because it's rap or because you're anti-music and whatnot. I'm not anti-music. I'm a sound engineer and I know what I'm fucking talking about because I've worked at events before in my life. There's no freaking way. Like, I get that there's people telling me like, oh, it's not his fault. People were going wild and whatnot. Let me tell you something. Like I said last Saturday before, look at MK said, get rage or get sued. That's his opinion, his option right now. Look, I've worked at events before. And like I stated last Saturday, you're supposed to have an insurance that's in the millions for this type of situation before you do this on a venue. Second of all, I don't know exactly what the state of Texas requires, but it's a standard to have at least one ambulance per 1,000 people. He did not have that. You're supposed to have EMTs per 1,000 people. You're supposed to have firefighters in place per 1,000 people. That is the way, that is the standard to do a massive or large venue in any state. Okay, it works in other concerts and whatnot, in other events. Imagine if this was the NFL. Like, the NFL has this type of things in place. That's why they don't get sued like this. And these situations don't happen like that. Because let's not forget, this happens in many, many concerts. Why they don't get this crazy lawsuits and all this raving and shit is because they follow the law. Radical says, I bet she won't say this about reggaeton. She's biased. Well, let me tell you something. At least reggaeton singers don't get sued because they have these things in place. And let's not forget that I did agree with not having our Hill concerts anymore at the Choliseo because there were shootings and whatnot, and that was dangerous. And that's why they banned him even from performing at this venue. Okay. And Rakim said, radical Latino, no, Denise is not biased, right? So to be honest with you, I mean, I feel for Travis. I don't think his career should end. The same with Alec Baldwin. I don't think his career should end, but you should not be that stupid, especially since you're in that position. Alec Baldwin needs to take a class from Will Smith and learn gun handling, which is something I've said even on my Instagram before. If you're going to act, if you're going to handle guns, even if they're props, you're supposed to treat a gun always as if it's loaded. And because Alec Baldwin has always been anti-gun, this is what happens. Now he has to live with the fact that he killed a mother and left a child being an orphan in this world. And like I said, the same with Travis Scott. Like, I have no sympathy for none of them. Now, moving into more fascinating things, I don't know if you guys have heard, but I've been saying this for a minute. Bachata is, to be honest, one upcoming thing. I am a bachatera. That was the first rhythm that I was able to learn, obviously, growing in a very conservative and very Christian and religious household. Bachata is always going to hold like a special place to me. It was the first thing I learned how to dance. And now we have La Fama, a collaboration between Rosalia and The Weeknd, which is a bachata song. If you haven't had the opportunity to listen to it, it premiered, I believe, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. It premiered yesterday. So make sure you tune in, you listen to it. It's really good. The video is absolutely funny, but it's actually really good. So that's something that, you know, it's coming. Also, Bad Bunny and Edwin have announced that their albums are coming out. I'm here waiting for it. Get your popcorn, get everything ready because they are coming, people. Radical is like, you see, cancel the news. She wants people to take the jab. So why isn't it those people's right to perish while listening to their favorite rapper? Oh my God, stop. Stop. Well, guys, that has been all for music today. Let's keep moving because, like I said, we have a lot of things going on for this show. And as if that wasn't enough, this explosive events that were happening, I want to give a huge shout out to all Mexicans and all the people that are fans of boxing, that are deep into the boxing world. Canelo has shocked the world. This past Saturday, you know, I get it. You know, Caleb was a strong contender. And like I said, this was going to be a very difficult fight. But to be honest with you, for minutes there, I was like, Canelo, cabrón, dale. But, you know, I wanted him to win so badly, like to a certain degree. Let's not forget, Caleb was looking kind of good. He was literally looking kind of good against Canelo, and even Canelo gave him some respect after that. But to be honest with you, look at Radical. Oh my God. But Canelo has made all Latinos proud. Like, if you're not proud of him, I get it, Radical, okay? But to be honest with you, Canelo has made all Latinos proud and also has made history, you know, becoming, I believe, the 6th boxer in history to unify all the belts in a weight class. And he's the first Latino to do this. And to be honest with you, I could not be any prouder. I'm so excited that I got to see it happening. Now our parents cannot come at us and tell us, you know, oh, like Julio Cesar Chavez was the best and whatnot. Now we have, it's so crazy because if you're a fan of boxing and your parents are too, you know, the conversations usually go with them, trying to win that with the fights, the great fights that happened during their time and whatnot. But to be honest with you, one thing that I say is that Canelo is one of the fighters that I admire the most, because look at MK's Canelo. Yeah, he's like Thanos, like he got them all. But to be honest with you, Look at Radical. Shout out to that Anglo-Hispanic. I see the right Kim says, it's no question about it. Canelo is a beast, and he's been a beast since I first saw him in 2011. Absolutely. Canelo is very determined. He's always hungry. He never fucking disappoints. And to be honest with you, one thing that I admire about Canelo is not easy to come back from a loss, such a huge loss. When Canelo, I saw him fight Mayweather, and Mayweather was not knocking him out or nothing or giving him power punches, but he outboxed the fuck out of Canelo. But one thing I would say is that it's so beautiful to see when a boxer takes a loss and he translated into a learning experience and a discovery experience, and he learns new things about himself. And he took that loss so well to the point that he took what he learned from Mayweather and translate it into his career. And that's why he has been killing it and killing it and killing it, because he applied himself to it, which is why he dissed Ryan Garcia for being, I don't know, a TV personality now, or like a social media personality instead of a boxer. Let's see if, you know, he takes it to heart. But to be honest with you, I am so proud. I don't know if you are proud, but if you're Latino and you're not proud of Canelo, I don't know you. I have no respect for you, and I don't like you. But to be honest with you, he shocked the world last Saturday. I loved it. I'm so excited. Viva Mexico, cabrones. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But congrats to all Mexicans on, you know, having this under your guys' belt. Like, this was amazing. And, you know, it's so nice that it came from Latin America. I am excited. I'm very proud. And it was an explosive fight. If you have not watched it because you were doing something that the rest of the world was not doing, I feel bad for you. And speaking of violence, there was no more beautiful display of violence that I've seen in my life. And like I even stated on my Instagram, to be honest with you, violence never looked so freaking great than it did with the Gagey and Chandler fight last night. Okay? To be honest with you, oh my freaking God. Like, these two dudes literally killed each other. They were like, you could not tell who was going to win. We know Chandler, and he's notorious for being like a ride or die type of dude. And we know Gagey takes a lot of punishment, but he still comes at you. He's like kind of like, I think he drank some of like Nate Diaz special juice. You know that Nate Diaz is the type of fighter that you can shoot at him and still come at you. That's Gagey. And to be honest with you, seeing both of these dudes train for this fight and seeing how they push each other to the extremes just to bring us this amazing display of martial arts. These dudes, like, whoever says that martial arts is not an actual art is right and is wrong. It's not an art, it's a science. And whoever, it's wrong because it is an art. It takes a specific person that's willing to morph their bodies into a specific thing and train for it and endure the harshest conditions to come display all their knowledge in the cage with somebody that wants to punish you for 25 freaking minutes. Like, come on now. But to be honest with you, even Gagey at the end of his statement was that, you know, they literally, he said, we were born in the wrong time. We should have been killing each other in a coliseum in the past. And that is true. They were gladiators. And I think out of all the fights, aside from Canelo, obviously, but that's boxing, out of all the fights, even though I enjoyed the Usman fight, to be honest with you, this was one of the best fights, if not the best fight of the night. Like, it was amazing. I loved it. And like I said, if you haven't watched it, there's still time. You can go into ESPN or whatever and watch the fight. It was I mean, there's no highlights because the whole fight was a freaking highlight. And to be honest with you, it was amazing. It was bloody. It was harsh. It was crazy. There were moments when you wouldn't know who was going to win. It was insane. It was insanely good. And I'm so glad we saw the number 2 and the number 5 in the world fighting against each other for several minutes. And it was an amazing display of martial arts. And speaking of a beautiful display of martial arts, oh my God, I got to talk about it. I got to talk about it. I don't know if you guys know, Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman had their fight too. Of course, I'm always on the Nigerian nightmare corner, not because a lot of people are gonna come at me, oh, you're always siding with black people. It's not because he's black. This dude has 100% takedown defense, and on top of that, he's an amazing striker. He's an amazing wrestler. Like, let's not forget that this dude gets paid the big bucks because of who he is. He's one of the top-notch, if not Dana White's golden boy right now on the UFC because of the way he fights. And let's not forget how he put even Masvidal to sleep. One thing I would say is that obviously in the welterweight of the MMA, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, every time we have a champion, it's like everybody that faces the champion, it's like better than the actual freaking champion. And to be honest with you, I see that Armando Sanchez was like, I was going for Covington. I was never for Covington, to be honest with you. I'm going to say why. I love Colby Covington when he fights everybody else but Kamaru Usman. And I'm going to explain why is that. Going back to Canelo, when Canelo lost to Mayweather, he took that like a man and went back to his corner, analyzed what he did wrong, and learned from that mistake. And the first thing, I knew he was going to lose because on the first fight, we saw how Kamaru Usman broke this man's face. He literally broke his jaw, and Colby went to his corner to say, hey, I think he broke my jaw. And he clearly did, to the point that Colby decided to hide his x-rays and not disclose it to the media because he did not want people to see that Kamaru Usman broke his jaw. So even when asked questions about it, people ask him, like, if you lose again, are you going to reveal the x-ray to see if he actually broke your jaw? And he started insulting people. And one thing that I saw, and I knew from the beginning he was going to lose again, was because he did not accept his defeat. He did not accept that he lost. And that's the same MO that we saw from Masvidal. Masvidal is an amazing fighter with amazing power, amazing endurance, but he did not accept his loss. When you do not accept your loss, you're doing yourself as a fighter a disservice simply because you're not accepting that something that the other dude did right, you did wrong. The game is simple. You go into a cage with a person that's going to punish you, even if you don't have beef with them, for several minutes. And the game is that you punish him more than he punishes you. That is the game. And if he punished you more, you have to look deep into why he was able to do that, correct it, and come back and try again. And the fact that, like I said, the fact that he couldn't do that, the fact that he denied that he lost in such a way that was for the public to see, to the point that the fight was stopped, shows a lot of character. And even now, like when he lost again, he at first gave Usman some respect because Usman said, I will shake his hand and I will give him respect. And he even said he's an amazing fighter. He just has to live with the fact that he's number 2. It's the same thing that happened with Deontay Wilder. He's an amazing boxer, but he has to live with the fact that Tyson Fury is number 1 and he's just number 2. And there's nothing wrong with that. But now we have the mental gymnastics of Colby Covington coming into place because his ego got bruised. And he's like, well, you know what? Usman is doping. Look at his acne. Look at this. Look at that. And it goes back to the same thing. You're great, but there's somebody that's greater than you, and that is the sport. How about you go back, look at what you're not bringing, and just bring it? I would love to see that fight when they both fight each other bloody. Who wouldn't like to see that? Every fan would like to see that. So to be honest with you, like I said, it's so stupid that as a fighter, you're doing this disservice to yourself simply because you refuse to accept, hey, somebody was better at it, somebody was faster and stronger, and I cannot continue this way, and I have to better myself. I don't know what to tell you. I honestly don't know what to tell you. You know, Morena says, "Dad, you can't like an athlete without it being race related." Absolutely. And that's why I said a lot of people agree with me on my assessment with Deontay Wilder, of course, because I was telling Deontay Wilder what I'm saying. I was saying what I said about Deontay Wilder, the same thing I'm saying today about Colby. They both have the same issue, but back then, because a lot of people wants to just insert race here, they don't see it like that. And I'm just as impartial as I can be because I love this sport. So the same thing, Colby Covington and Deontay Wilder are in the same seat to me. Accept your defeat, take it like a freaking man, assess what went wrong, become stronger, make the changes you have to do, shut the fuck up and kill it. That's all I'm saying. I see that Radical says, why we have to punish each other physically? Why can't we punish each other with love? Denise's love for physical violence is her Anglo side coming out. I want love. That's my native side. You're stupid, Radical. You're so stupid. Oh my God. That is insane. I see that culturally Castizo says, sports are like this. I understand the national pride behind boxing. Nothing wrong with rooting for raza. Look, the problem is not that it's something wrong with rooting for people that come from where you come from. There's nothing wrong with that. Actually, it's something great. My problem is that you have to, when is it enough for you to put your feelings and your identity crisis with someone that looks like you or might come from the same place that you come and just accept their defeat? It's like when Tito Trinidad and Bernard Hopkins were fighting, and to be honest with you, my favorite boxer in all history, regardless of whatever, is Bernard Hopkins. When Bernard Hopkins and Tito Trinidad were fighting, I was rooting for Bernard Hopkins, not because Tito Trinidad comes from Puerto Rico, but because I thought that at that point in that fight, obviously Bernard Hopkins was way better and he was going to punish Tito Trinidad, and he did. And the problem with people is that they get so tribal, and in sports there's no tribes. That's what you see a lot of fighters coming together and getting, relating to each other because they value and respect sportsmanship, not flags, no fucking tribes. It's like El Michoacano said, it's tribal. Yeah, it's tribal for the fans, and it's mostly for the fans that I don't know. It's mostly for the fans that can't see past the sport. But to be honest with you, it's crazy. Radical says, no lie, I always root for the Latino fighter, whoever it is. But if it's a white or black fighter, I'm choosing the black fighter. Stop. No, I choose whoever is better. To be honest with you, I choose whoever is better. I don't care if you look yellow, if you look whatever. Like, I choose whoever is better. And in my opinion, like I said, Usman is better, Fury is better. And Fury is a whole white man, but he is freaking better. And that's something that people have to live with. Like, I don't know why this is such a topic. But guys, that was all for sports today. Tomorrow I will bring more on basketball and other things that I want to discuss because there's a lot to say about, our MVP and whatnot. So let's just keep moving because I know you guys came here for the main topic, and that's just what's coming. The main topic. Oh, God. Oh, God. I see that Armando Sanchez says, interesting, Trinidad was loved in Puerto Rico. We all love Trinidad. We ride and die with Trinidad. He was just not better in that fight. That was it. We love Trinidad. That's our guy. Now, back to the main topic, guys. Remember me? Do you guys remember it? Remember me? Do you remember that from Coco? I would have loved to play that for you when it comes to this, but I want to show you guys something that, like I said again, proves right the fact that we have been saying for the longest time the right things regarding this lady. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of heat from people, a lot of comments, but guys, let's keep it real when it comes to AOC. And do you guys remember that, during this year's Met Gala, we had AOC that show up to the Met Gala in a very controversial way, um, talking about taxing the rich. I know many of you guys remember that because it was, oh my God, it was so mainstream. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. And the fact that, a lot of people came for me, sent me DMs, and I got them all, to be honest with you. Do you guys remember this dress? I remember this dress. I remember this dress. When AOC was like, tax the rich, tax the rich. And later on, it was discovered because people came from me, and some people agreed with me. But for the most part, a lot of people started like, yes, bitch, yes, let's tax the rich. And not even like a week after, I reported on something regarding her, and a lot of people came from me like, "Oh, you're grilling on AOC, but AOC, that dress was donated and it was gonna be, I think, auctioned to help people or something like that. And after that, she was invited by this designer that was this savior, blah 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 blah." And I was like, why am I not surprised that the designer clothing brand that devised AOC's Tax the Rich Met Gala dress doesn't even pay its own taxes? Records show that Aurora James' firm failed to pay state and federal taxes totaling $130,000. So I see that Jose says AOC's annual salary is $174,000. Does it mean her as well? Absolutely. And it's like I said, the hypocrisy of these people has come. I don't know if you guys have seen lately what has been going on after the bill was passed with the whole tax the rich bullshit. I want to highlight the fact that after that, it doesn't surprise me that in the infrastructure bill, now one thing that's being done is not taxing the rich. Does that surprise you guys? Like, let me know in the chat. Like, does that surprise? Is it a surprise to you guys that, this is just for optics? And I'm gonna explain why. Like, to be honest with you, CNN Business reported on November 1st, tax the rich? Maybe not. Democrats' spending plan could be a tax cut for the rich, budget watchdog finds. And I'm going to explain it in the most easiest way so you guys can understand. If you guys don't know what SALT is, the SALTs are basically state and local taxes. When people that you guys know, when you file taxes, you get an exemption or like a deduction of a standard of like $12,000 to $15,000. If you have never filed your own taxes, then ask the people that file your taxes, what's the standard exemption that you get when you file your taxes? It should be in that range of $12,000 to $15,000. And basically what that is saying is that you have paid in state and local taxes an average of $12,000 in taxes. Therefore, they should be deducted as an expense on your tax return or your taxes on that year. So basically, when Trump got in office, obviously he was doing it to like put his thumb on the eye of like, rich Democrats and whatnot. But what he did is that rich people, what they can do, or people that are high income earners, what they can do is that they can itemize their expenses and their deductions depending on what's bigger. And that's called the state and local taxes. For example, you pay to the state of California I don't know, in taxes, let's say 150K, just to give a random number, of course, you can go to your federal taxes and deduct that as an expense so that you can pay less federal taxes to the nation. So, with that being said, you also can take all the taxes that you have spent on buying things or whatnot, taxes that you have spent on either the state or taxes in your vicinity, in your state, or if you pay taxes on property or real estate, whatever is bigger. Before 2017, like for example, if I paid in state taxes 150K, like I said, but I paid in real estate, like in my mortgages. So say I have like 10 different buildings and I pay like 300K in freaking state taxes for that property. I could use that as a deduction because it's bigger and it's a bigger deduction on my federal taxes. That's why it's called the SALT. It's called the state and local taxes. Now, one thing I would say, when Trump got in office in 2017, he literally stick his thumb on the eye of rich people that were living in democratic states, and he put a cap to the SALT, to the state and local taxes. If you're going to itemize your taxes that you pay as an expense, it could not be bigger than $10,000, which push a lot of rich people into paying more federal taxes because they could only deduct $10,000 after what they pay to the states as SALT, as the state and local taxes. So he literally put a cap to that, enforcing the rich to actually pay more taxes. Now, in this new spending bill that the Democrats approved, Biden removed that cap for the SALT, the state and local taxes. So now we're going back to the point where rich people can actually, or high-earner people can pay less taxes because they can use, there's no limit on how many deductions they can use depending on what they decide to deduct, if it's the state taxes or the local taxes and whatnot. Depending on what they want to do, there's no cap. Now that cap is being removed and is giving them rich people a tax break in I'm sorry, in federal taxation. So I go back to the point where, and this is something that AOC endorsed for some freaking reason, because we know she's a snowflake. We know that she bends over for Nancy Pelosi the minute that she gets on her face. So there's only so much that as a person you can actually see and start watching the shit that's covering your eyes when you're like clapping and kissing AOC's ass. And to be honest with you, this whole tax the rich is just something that she's doing to get your vote. And I'm going to go back to the point where Bernie and the squad, including AOC, used to say, oh, I'm a politician that doesn't take corporate money in order for me to legislate. So you can trust me. And that's how she won in 2016 and 2018 and whatnot. And to be honest with you, now she has moved from that to optics and identity politics to win and make that like her MO. For example, she will go on a public platform to say that this should be done and have a lot of progressive talks and a lot of progressive key points and whatnot. But then when she has to act, like we saw with Force the Vote, what she does is that she bends over for her collectivity, and she lets mommy Nancy Pelosi decide what she's going to do. So she portrays herself as the advocate for progressiveness and progressives out there and liberals and whatnot. But when it comes time to actually back it up with her actions, she always seems to be split and always cave for Nancy Pelosi. And speaking on that, not only on taxing the rich, like I said, I explained that if you don't understand what I'm talking about, rewind what I said and try to understand it. Because, like I said, it's very simple once you get to. Radical says, I added my mortgage as an expense because I had my gym items shipped to my house. Well, like I said, it's whatever is higher because it will give you a tax cut. And Radical says identity politics is a good move politically. Of course, it's a good move politically because you get to tell people what they want to hear and do a lot of lip service. But when it comes time for you to act, she's not going to act. And I posted something this morning that was hilarious because one thing that AOC is notorious for is her word salads. Definitely her word salads. And before we get into her word salads, I'm gonna share with you guys. Jose says, "I can't believe that she is my congressperson." Yeah, absolutely, she's your representative, Jose. One thing I would say is that I'm going to explain something and I will show you her word salad after that. On September 23rd, it was reported that the U.S. House of Representatives approved a $1 billion for Israel's Iron Dome missile defense system. If you don't know what the Iron Dome is basically this technology that the U.S. and Israel and other countries help build to protect Israel from airstrikes. 90% of the airstrikes that are coming from Gaza, from Palestinians and stuff, so that they don't harm civilians and infrastructure. Now, I think that's a great idea and a great approach, and they should do that. But I don't think that the U.S. right now is in the position to spend $1 billion on a foreign land when we have so much infrastructure to take care back here at home. So that's the only reason why a lot of people thought that by AOC talking points that she was going to oppose this, but she ended up voting present. And that pissed a lot of people off because she was saying, oh my God, like, you know, we have to spend that in the Bronx. We have to spend that in South Central. We have to spend that in poor communities. We have to spend that here. People cannot afford Medicare for all. Like, how come we cannot afford Medicare for all, but we can do all these things? And people thought that she was actually going to oppose this, and a lot of the squad was going to oppose this, and they didn't. She voted yes. At first, she said no, but then after Nancy Pelosi got on her face, she literally voted present. And to be honest with you, I'm going to read a little bit of the article. It says the U.S. House of Representatives voted overwhelmingly on Thursday to give $1 billion to Israel for its Iron Dome missile defense system. 2 days after objections from the most liberal Democrats, including AOC, forced leaders to remove it from a broader spending bill. The measure passed by 420 to 9. 8 noes from Democrats and 1 from a Republican, with 2 members voting present. That sent the measure to the Senate, where leaders have not yet scheduled a vote. And that is basically what a lot of people are pissed with AOC. And one thing, when we started asking questions, all AOC was giving us was a word salad. All she could give us as a response was a word salad. I'm going to play for you guys here so you can see her word salad.
Congresswoman, the question that a lot of people ask me to ask you this is, was it worth doing present? Because it didn't really satisfy anyone. The supporters of Israel are mad at you for not voting for it. Critics of Israel are mad at you for not voting against it. Do you regret that?
You know, it is something that I weigh because there's always the macro and then there's the micro. And in the macro of narrative, of politics, of national impact, you know, I probably should have just gone with my value. But in the macro, which would be to vote no.
The macro.
But in the micro, I do believe that this created a window in our community to be able to bring all folks to the table, because my great fear is that we are going to import the same sort of contention around this issue, and we can have a progressive movement that defends Palestinian human rights, that is Muslim, Christian, Jewish. Happen that day.
Congresswoman, the question that a lot of people ask me.
So basically, is the macro and the micro. The macro and the micro. I see that one Anako Sayajin says, my Catracho homie is gonna get paid $450K, so get mad about it. Look, let me tell you something, one Anako Sayajin. To be honest with you, buy a nice chair and wait for it. That's something that trust me, if African Americans, which are a smaller number, cannot get the 300K that they were waiting for in reparations, and that's the progressive talk to get their votes, they're just doing that so that you can vote for them. But in reality, they're going to impose more laws. Well, they were saying, oh, let's open the borders. Let's do this during the Obama administration. And he was saying, yes, we can. He was building cages for our children with the excuse like, oh, we couldn't build housing for them fast enough. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. And nobody's mad. The thing is, like, it's not going to happen. Trust me, it's not going to happen. Good luck. Good luck with that. It's not gonna happen. And going back to the word salad, to be honest with you, this whole thing, it's like she's always with the micro and the macro. And if as if that wasn't enough, there's a TikToker that actually explained how AOC says a lot of things. I see that Donnie says, but Trump built those cages. No, he didn't. But and not only that, let's not forget that it was Democrats that deported more Hispanics or Latinos than all of the last presidents combined in the last 20 years. 52 million Latinos were deported. Look it up. Now, if you want to understand the micro and the macro, there's a dude that did like something really funny on TikTok, and I want to highlight for you guys so you guys can see the word salads that AOC throws at people when we confront her with her stupidity.
Having to be said about this sort of how do I put this, willing ignorance, right? This sort of duality between that consciousness of being aware in such a manner and yet readily marginalizing that intersectionality. It's very profound. These conversations are intrinsically multifaceted.
It's something that, you know, it's hilarious because she says a lot of things, but you seem to never get the message and a response. And she always comes with this. Like, there's another instance when people were asking her last year about like what was going to happen with the rent, with their mortgages and whatnot. And look at her response. It's always the micro and the macro.
That matters.
People's rent be forgiven.
We're going to figure that out. But
what are you going to do? You asked us what we're going to do. What are you guys going to do?
Here's what we're going to do. The CDC just announced an eviction moratorium, and what we're here is for our reasons known and unknown.
It's the reasons known and unknown, the micro and the macro, the big and the small, the this and the that. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, her hypocrisy, her stupidity, her incompetence is so cringeworthy. To be honest with you, it's so insane. So to be honest with you, it's the same. It's like Jose said, it's more double talk. That's the thing. She's torn between, you know, and I love the way, and I'm gonna show you guys because oh my God, like, to be honest with you, I went to her Instagram to see if she addressed the situation, because sometimes I say, well, let's give her some leeway regarding you know, what happened with the vote. But in reality, it's more stupidity. It's more stupidity. And she will tell you how she didn't vote it and stand on her square of voting no for this spending bill because she's a snowflake. And she doesn't have the moral compass nor the character to be in office. I don't even know why people voted for this lady.
What's up? Hey, everyone, just checking in. Let me see. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Whoo, y'all. We got a lot to talk about. Hey, everybody. What's up? Damn, yo. There's a lot to discuss. Hey, everybody. What's up? Thanks so much for joining. So appreciate you. Hey, everybody. How's it going? How's it going? What's up? Let's talk. Hey, everyone. What's up? How's it going, everybody? What's up? What it do? Hey, everyone. All right, let's hop right into it. Let's talk about it. So we had this absolutely wild infrastructure vote last night. And if you're watching TV or, you know, seeing stuff, punditry, people might be like, oh my God, like, you know, all this drama. What I try to do as much as I can with you all is that regardless of whether you agree with me or regardless of whether you disagree with a decision or things like that, my goal is always to give you all maximum transparency and let you see what was going on in terms of the chess pieces on the board and what was actually happening behind the scenes.
The micro and
so
the
that
macro.
You can actually think about what you would do if you were put into a similar position.
You see, it's always the micro and the macro, the micro and the micro, the behind the scenes and the chessboard, the known and the unknown. It's always something going on with her to the point that she's like, if you were put in that position, lady, we didn't support you, and not me. I didn't support her snowflake ass, but people that gave you their vote was because you were supposed to go in there and talk them into it. You were supposed to go in there to actually push for what people wanted to put you in office. Otherwise, we wouldn't have supported you. People wouldn't have supported you. It's always the micro and the macro, the front and the back, the ass and the pussy. Come on, lady. This is not what people vote. Oh, if you put me in that position, I'm so brittle and I'm going to abide by mommy Nancy. And we saw this shit with Force the Vote. Remember when she was attacking Jimmy Dore in the past with Force the Vote? And she was attacking him when he was telling her, why you don't tell Nancy Pelosi, we're not going to vote for you to be the House Speaker until you include in that bill, in the HEROES Act, Medicare for all or the $15 minimum wage. And she said like, oh, we have to just be nice. We can't be like that. And it's crazy because I saw Jimmy Dore's reaction to it. He's like, imagine when a politician doesn't do something for you. You're supposed to be nice to them. And when they vote against all the things that will help the people, be even nicer and send them flowers. Oh my God. And now when they're screwing you in the ass, send them a fucking $1 million donation. Oh my God. And that is the problem that I have with AOC. Whenever people want to come at me, I want two things. I'm open for the conversation. If you want to talk about AOC either on your platform or my platform, or you even want to DM me like a lot of people do about defending AOC because she's a young Latina and she's Puerto Rican and I don't identify with her. I think she's a freaking snowflake. But to be honest with you, if you want to come at me with that bullshit, first, make sure you decipher what's the micro and the macro. You decipher what's the front and the back and the wrong and the known and the unknown and the front of the chessboard and behind the scenes. And also come at me, to be honest with you, and come at me with the fact that she's unable and incapable and incompetent to actually stand her ground for her beliefs. She uses her beliefs to get in office and then uses her beliefs to keep you glued to her, but then goes in there and enforces the beliefs of her collectivity. And people keep giving this lady that's incompetent their votes. I do not know why. She's lying to you because at the end of the day, she's always going to go for Pelosi first and what Pelosi wants and what the collectivity of the DNC wants. And I'm surprised that a lot of people are like, yes, AOC, yes, I love you. Keep doing the good work. What work? She's not doing anything. Yeah, she's not taking corporate money, but at the end of the day, you sitting there and doing nothing is keeping people that take corporate money in office. So why are you even useful? AOC is basically America's third boob. Useless and unnecessary. I said it and I said it. She is the Bronx third boob. Unnecessary and useless. If you cannot do anything in office, you're just a pimple on America's ass, just like Obama was. It is what it is, and we must pop it and remove that third boob. So to be honest with you, it's so insane what's happening. Oh my God, Jose is like, all boob lives matter. No. Like I said, it's retarded that we keep voting for these people. And it's time for people to understand your votes should go either for a third party or for independent people, but it should not be going to people like AOC. These third boob politicians do not serve anybody, because at the end of the day, look at what happened with the Iron Dome. We need that $1 billion here back at home. I feel for the Israelites. I get it. They don't want to get their infrastructure destroyed. I get it. Solve your own fucking issues in your own backyard. Find a way to talk to the Palestinians. It is what it is. But to be honest with you, they are a freaking third boob politicians. And we don't need third boob politicians. We need people with cojones. And as Latinos, we need to identify that our people can also be used as third boobs. Just like they use Obama. Just like Obama was the black puppet of Wall Street. This is the same thing that's happening with AOC. And I'm so tired of people coming at me. Like I said, if you want to talk, we can talk AOC all day. We can talk AOC all day, and I will always find the same thing: the micro, the macro, the pussy, the ass, the titty, the knot, the this and that, the known, the unknown, the top and the back. It's always like that. I'm with Morena. I want to know who the hell voted for her in the Bronx. I want to know who the hell voted for her in the Bronx. Yes, Christina, I'm on fire. I see that Donnie says, look into who supported this actress. She's a fraud and should be challenged every time she's out in public in New York City. And it should be recorded. Absolutely. And she will always come with the micro, the macro, the front and the back, the top and the bottom, the known and the unknown. It's always the same with AOC. And why she always has that answer? Because she's telling you the truth. That she's always in between the micro and the macro, the front and the back, the pussy and the ass, everything, because she doesn't have the moral compass and the cojones to actually run a public office. She is useless. Morena is like, Denise tiene una boca más sucia que mi difunta abuela. It's always like that. It's always like that. She's always between the micro and the macro. Never forget that. Never forget that. Coming this election now, vote her ass out. She's a third boob. She's the third boob that the Bronx doesn't freaking need. I'd rather have the Cookie Monster in office that's still gonna vote yes for everything, because it's gonna be in the micro is bad, but in the macro is good. That's the same thing that the Cookie Monster can do. So what can you do? What do you contribute to the people that gave you their vote? What do you contribute to the Bronx? What do you contribute to New York? What do you contribute to the House of Representatives? Absolutely fucking nothing. How about that? I see that Donnie says, we need America First candidates in office. The only way we get voted in is on the Republicans' ticket. Sadly, we have to infiltrate a party and take it over. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We're seeing, he said, we're seeing a slow takeover of the Republican Party. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I said. At this point, we have to wake the fuck up and vote for somebody that's not affiliated to this both parties, because both parties fucking suck. I said it, and it's true. Now, guys, like I said, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm just full of shit. Maybe all this proof that I've shown you is just more horseshit. Maybe AOC is an amazing person and she's not a snowflake and you want to defend her honor. Then you can jump in and join the conversation. You can tell me how I'm wrong. Tell me, like I said, tell me how AOC is this magical angel, you know, and she does all these things for her people, and she's amazing, and the Bronx is thriving because she's out there fighting and yielding the sword of justice and yielding the progressive sword and doing all these things, and AOC is amazing and blah 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 blah. You can come up here and tell me how I'm wrong, or if you agree, you can also jump in here and grill her some more, because this message, and even as a Puerto Rican myself, we need to start calling this bullshit out. We need to start stopping people like AOC from gaining power and doing whatever the fuck it is they're doing. If we're coming from the bottom and we're going all the way up, is to establish policies that benefit us here back at home. Like, come on now. Come on now. And if you think I'm wrong, that's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. But guys, I put the link in the chat. I'm gonna take a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Make sure that you like this video and share it with everybody that's thinking of voting for AOC. That's thinking for voting for everybody that, like Danny said, is anti-freaking American. It's time for people to vote pro-America. I'm so sick and tired of this anti-America. Put everybody first and fuck Americans. I'm tired of that. I'm going to take 3 minutes because I have several people here and I want to address them. I'm going to take 3 minutes, guys. And when I come back, get your snacks, get your drinks, go use the loo, do whatever it is you want to do. When I come back in 3 minutes, we will discuss this whole micro and macro word salads that we're tired of listening from freaking AOC. I will be back. It's 1:13 here in Los Angeles, 4:13 in the East Coast. I will be back at 1:16. Don't go anywhere, okay? And we are back. We are back. We are back. I hope everybody has taken their drinks. I know I am, because I needed to cool off. Like Christina said, I'm on fire. But before I let people in, I want to remind everybody that the views and the statements of the guests do not necessarily represent those of the channel and or those of the panel members, as some comments may be offensive to select groups of people. Also, I want to remind you guys that by calling into this live show, you waive your rights to the use of your image and likeness for the purposes of the show. Now, without any further ado, I want to welcome the ones, the Bronx representative, the Parkchester mayor, Jose Negron, And as if that wasn't enough, I want to introduce the Radical Latino. What's up, guys?
Yeah. Good, everybody.
Oh. How you guys doing?
Okay, I'm doing fine. First of all, the MIG community just joined, have a new member, and her name is AOC.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And let me just tell you something. As a member of the 14th Congressional District, which unfortunately she represents, she did not win with my vote.
Yeah.
She won with mine.
You voted for her, Brad?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. I voted for her one time because he said white supremacy. I swear to God.
Oh my God.
Said,
slap yourself. Slap yourself.
She got my vote.
No comment. No comment.
She got you. She figured you out.
Literally, she said, I didn't hear anything she said. She said white supremacy. I'm like, beep, 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 beep. She got my vote.
Oh my God. She got you with the micro and the micro. Look, Radical. This is you now. This is you now. Look.
Am I regretting my vote? Yes, I am. This pretty much proves the whole Democratic BS. You know, the whole Republican BS. This is something I've always been saying, and you said
both parties suck.
Yeah, you said it very, very clear that both parties. There's nothing good with both parties. We should definitely, get out of this political, historical Democratic voting bloc, and actually go either independent or go for the Green Party or a Libertarian or something, and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm voting for the People's Party.
Guys,
I'm voting for the People's Party. Go ahead, Jose.
The problem is, in order for a third party to be successful, you either have to be like a gazillionaire, or you're going to have to raise a whole bunch of money, which means you're going to have to sell out to everybody in order to get the funds that you need to run a campaign. That's the sad reality. And let me just state again, the last time that a second party did well in a presidential election was 1912, where the Boomers Party finished in second. The Republican Party candidate finished third. Since then, we haven't got anybody got even close.
Yeah,
never say never. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's insane. But here, look, I'm gonna say this, and this is unpopular opinion. I know both parties suck, but here in the state of California in 2022. If I have to vote Republican just to get Newsom out, to whoever is going to lower our taxes, I'm going to review their platform really well. And I will decide if I will vote Republican, because I am so tired. I am so freaking tired of people getting taxed up their asses just to live here, for a governor that doesn't fucking incentivize business at all. If anything, he's literally putting business in. He has like a business graveyard. And if there's no business, what also is not here? Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
There's no jobs. To be honest with you, right now, California has jobs. But to be honest with you, a lot of companies are leaving. A lot of massive companies are leaving. And to be honest with you, I'm so tired.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've noticed that most Democratic states are kind of dwindling down in population and economic infrastructure, and Republican states like Texas, Florida, and so on, they're thriving.
Yeah, because everybody's moving over there. Everybody's moving over there because it's ridiculous.
But you know what's ridiculous, to see some of these people are getting also happy about people being forced to get the job, and they don't realize, the turmoil that some of these people are going through, because you have people who, that have sincere concerns about getting an emergency vaccination. And the fact of the matter is people have to choose between getting the jab or losing a job. And that's not a good thing.
Yeah, and the thing about that, I was listening to a Joe Rogan episode, I think this morning, and he raised a lot of salient points. One was that it doesn't make sense that some of these people, especially these politicians and these these laws, are forcing people who already have natural immunity to get vaccinated. It doesn't make sense, because the whole point of natural immunity and having those antibodies is, against the cove. You know what I mean? So
look, I lied in what I said previously. You remember when I said that 1,279 drugs get recalled every year by the FDA?
Yeah, it's like 600 something actually.
I lied.
600 something.
It's 4,500.
Yeah,
it's 4,000 each fucking year, and for some magical reason, we're supposed to believe that this one specifically, that it has never been tested in millions of people. We don't know the long-term repercussions of it. This magical one, it's amazing. It's good for you. Do it. Get it done, and do it for others. I just got a vaccine so that you don't get infected.
To be honest with you, this is not a. I don't want to say that the word. I'm gonna just say vax. This is not a vax, to be honest with you. It's. I think it's a mRNA. It's not a vax. It's not.
It's
like
a new technology. It's a new technology.
Yeah. It's a new thing. It's not one of those traditional vax. So I understand the concerns, and the thing is that the media, mainstream media, doesn't like to talk about is the fact that there's really bad side effects of this vax. A lot of people don't like to talk about that. The thing is, get the jab, and don't talk about it. No, there's people that literally caught heart attacks because of it. There's people who didn't have no severe side effects before the jab, and now after the jab, now their life completely changed, and they said that they should have just stuck with probably getting the flu, and then recovering from it naturally, And then also there is medicine that people could take if they do come in contact with the 19.
But radical,
you know what I mean?
Radical is the micro and the macro.
Yeah,
the front and the back, the known and the unknown.
Otherwise known as gibberish. But if I can just chime in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but see, I'm a union rep at my job, and I've spoken to people, and I try to share with people the fact that the matter is there are people that cannot medically be vaccinated because they have health issues. That if they get vaccinated, it can harm them and can kill them. People look at me like I had 3 heads. And all I'm just doing is stating the facts.
Yeah, absolutely. I see that I have the superior lord. What's up, Donnie?
Yo, what's good?
Good. I'm good. What do you think about the micro and the macro and the front and the back and the top and the bottom?
I think that each and every one of you liberals, you did this. This is your responsibility. This is your fault. You had people warning you about the power grab with a majority, most of these, all of these Democrats, right? Not to say that Republicans are perfect or they're angels, but you've been warned. You did not listen. This is your fault. To anybody who's living in a Democratic state or a Democratic city, let it fucking burn. Don't try to save it. Don't try to do anything. Let it all crash and burn, and let them learn their lesson. Because that's what we're seeing now.
Absolutely. And you know what's my fear? That we have a lot of this liberals and progressive and people that love this sweet talk and this lip service are moving to red states, and they're going to vote for the same fucking policies, man. Because
liberalism is a mental disorder. That's why, right?
Yeah.
And I think we should stop calling them liberals, stop calling them progressive, because nothing that they do is progressive. They're not liberals, because true liberals will actually hear both sides of an argument, right? These people don't want to hear nothing.
But Danny,
They're communists.
but Danny, gender is fluid.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's the micro and the macro. What's wrong with you?
There's only two genders. There's only two genders. There's
how
male
dare
and
you, you
female.
bigot? There's no two genders. There's more than two.
No, but this is what people have allowed, and I say, you know what? Good for them. And sit back, relax, and for all you right wingers, Republicans, conservatives, and independents, just watch the snake eat its own tail.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm here gloating.
I've noticed that ever since the riots, you've seen a lot of people from the city move out of the city, go up north, or even move out of New York completely. Hello, can you guys hear me better now?
Yeah.
You're okay. No, I said ever since the riots, you have people move up north or move out of the city completely, you know, and this has been, you know, things have been documented in articles ever since the riots popped off. You know, you literally have a mass exodus of Democratic cities into Republican cities or strongholds. So it does. I believe that there's a lot of backlash and after effects of certain things, you know, and I believe what the Biden administration is doing is completely wrong.
No, they're going according to plan, because if you really look at all of this, Radical, this is all manufactured. This isn't something that happened because Trump he tweeted mean tweets. This dude left office on what is it? January 20th, when they had this bogus, this demented in chief person come in and take control. The country was in good shape, and that was in January. We're in what? November. In 10 months, look at the inflation levels. Just go to the supermarket and compare the prices from that you see today from last year.
Dude, gas is crazy. Right now, gas is like $3.30 something. Gas used to be like $2 something.
And you think that's crazy? In California, gas is
it's like
almost $7. Not only that, $7 in Van Nuys. Look at the inflation.
It's ridiculous.
Look at the inflation in food. Beef is 10.8% up. Bacon is 19.3% up. Eggs are 12.6% up. Apples, which is fundamental to not have to visit the doctor.
I buy a lot of Apple devices. Yeah, I know.
Oh, stop. Look at the gas. The gas is 43.3% up. Electricity, 5.2% up. And that's something I want to focus on. If you think about it, most of the electricity, if not all, depends on fossil fuels. How come the gas only went up 43.3%, but the electricity is only 5.2%? That makes no fucking sense, other than we have people trying to profit off of the people.
Well, they're going to spin this, right? They're going to say, oh, well, the gas is up so much because climate change, right? Jose, I'm sure you remember when you were a kid, they were talking about climate change back then too.
Oh, yes. I remember when they were talking about it like in the 70s and whatnot.
Yeah, this is all hippie propaganda. These are hippies in suits. That's basically what the Democratic Party is. And thank God they're starting to age out. But we're left with something completely worse, which is this whole woke ideology, which is spearheaded by like people like AOC and stuff like that. What they're going to try to do is they're going to flip that percentage you just had on the screen, and they're going to try to make it seem like, oh, green energy is the reason why electricity hasn't gone up. But what they're not telling you is that these windmills and these solar panels, they're not going to be made in the US. They're going to be made in fucking China. So now we're paying China to make these shitty products that they already make shitty products. So now,
not only that, let's just not forget that even though we have that, that's not completely sustainable. Here in California, we have a freaking field that Arnold Schwarzenegger started. for solar panels, and it's going to shit right now. The air turbines is going to shit right now, and we invested billions of dollars in that shit.
Because it's not a sustainable source of energy. The technology just isn't there, but they keep pushing it, right? This is all that now they're saying that now this whole push about climate change. They're not. You cannot change the climate. I don't know if you guys know, but climate change is a code word for tax. They want to tax. They basically want to monitor your vehicle to see how far you're driving for the carbon footprint. Everything.
Yeah,
This
I
is
think
all
they
going to be
did.
a tax.
I think they did a model, a study model on a small community in like rural United States or whatever the case is, and they found that their carbon footprint was basically non-noticeable. So when they started introducing these green type of fuel efficient type of choices, solar panels and wind turbines and stuff like that, they saw that the town actually, the taxes went up on the town from 1 point something to 3 point something. And you started to see that some of the middle class people actually started to spend more on taxes, to the point where I think there was a family that had to I think dip into the mortgage just so they could pay their house tax or whatever the case is.
Yeah, this is a joke, and people don't understand that, and they use the fact that most, like, I want to say 95% of the population is naive and they don't understand what's going on. There's so much going on, and this is why I tell people, do not watch TV, don't watch the mainstream media, because they've been lying. Trump
right now,
may not have been the nicest person.
question the mainstream media, because they tell you one thing, but you gotta really
mainstream media ratings have gone severely down because
they've
people
gone down
want
because Trump's not in office no more. That's why.
Not only that, people want the truth. People want to be able to form their own opinions, regardless of if they are from the left or the right. To be honest with you, like, Joe Rogan has more ratings than MSNBC.
Yeah,
and that is simply because he states his opinion.
That's 100% true.
There's
that's
nothing wrong with
100%
that.
true, and that's the reason why CNN went after him, and he even said it himself. They went after me because I am more popular and relatable to just talking heads on the TV.
It's not
He's
even
right.
that. The reason why Fox News hasn't really gone under ratings wise is because you actually have people like Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and what's that lady's name? Laura Ingraham. They actually, if you watch their programs and you put your bias to the side, they're actually asking real questions, like who's running the country right now? Because this guy can't even form a sentence.
I'll tell you who's running the country. Is Goldman Sachs, Raytheon, fossil fuels, and Big Pharma. That's who's running your country. There's no more democracy. That's gone.
And China's running our country too.
China's the main.
Shout out to my iPhone that was made in China and the Toyota car that I'm driving right now.
But even with that, trust and belief is big everything. Big corporations, Raytheon, Goldman Sachs, all these people are the ones that are running the country. They're the ones making the decisions to go to China. This is an oligarchy. We've said this for a while now. This is an oligarchy.
Listen,
this is not a democracy.
I can't go too far in without your channel, without this feed being cut. So I gotta keep it surface level so that the algorithm doesn't like cut you off. But people don't understand that, right? And now you saw what happened in Virginia. What was it? 2 weeks ago now? Yeah, 11 days ago on election day. With
the voting. Yeah.
Yeah, this is only the beginning. A guy in New Jersey beat out a Senate president with $153 and volunteers. People are tired of this.
Dude, the Democratic Party basically went and it was shown. It was shown in this election.
You're breaking up, Radical. You're sounding a little robotic.
Excuse me.
Go ahead, Jose.
I just have one question. Okay, where can we go that we can get straight news, straight information without all the jibber jabber?
Latin explaining.
RadicalLatino.com. Oh.
For all your LGBT questions, you can go to Radical's website.
Oh my God! Stop.
He can help you with all of that. For all the BLM marches, he'll help you. Now, but
Danny, there's Cultural Castizo asked you a question. He said, Danny, I'd like to hear your point of view sides on how Hawk Newsom feels. Are you with him when you say, and also when you say fire, I guess, and also tell us what you think about our new mayor and his reinstatement of Giuliani's policing.
Well, do I agree with Hawk Newsom? To an extent, yeah. But I'm not one for the racist nonsense because, in my opinion, you know, look, there's good and there's bad cops, right? Mm-hmm. Just like there's good and there's bad people walking the street.
Yeah.
I'm just done with the whole race thing. I don't give a fuck if somebody gets killed and they're black, they're white. Like I just don't care. I don't care that George Floyd couldn't breathe. I don't give a fuck about the racism anymore. It just doesn't matter to me. And people don't understand that they dangle this in front of you like a carrot for you to be distracted from what's really going on in the world. And I get where this Hawk Newsom guy is coming from, but at the end of the day, the city is not safe. A 62-year-old man was jumped. He got hit in the head with what looked like a pipe in Manhattan, walking home at night, and jumped. He got the shit kicked out of him by like maybe 6 or 7 teenagers, right? You're seeing people being thrown into the train tracks for no reason by nut jobs on these train platforms in New York City. So, you know what? Maybe we do need some plainclothes cops back on the street. Because safety, if the city's not safe, then what's the point for anything else? Right or wrong?
But that goes back to the same thing that I was saying last week. I don't want to take your words out of context, but like, to be honest with you, I do think that we need to address the George Floyd situation. But I think that, in all honesty, that's why I made the stream that I made last Saturday. If you want to change policing and make sure and guarantee that it's followed by the rules, you need to join the force instead of just calling for it to not exist. It's the only way it's going to change, because a lot of people don't want to put in their works, the sweat and tears that goes into being a police force, in the police force.
They just want to sit
and they
on their
just
ass
want to
and
criticize.
Complain. Yeah,
exactly.
That's it.
And even Melanated Knight shared his thoughts on his path in becoming an officer. And that is the same thing that I've been saying. I'm like, there's a select group of people that are doing this and putting skin into the game and changing things from within, but they have to put in the work, and they're putting in this work, and they are even being criticized by many people from both sides for doing so. But there's a lot of people those are the same ones that are not willing to put in the work and putting some skin in the game and actually doing this stuff. And I'm like, to what point?
Denise, my thing is this, right? For me, racism is not a top priority, right? We're witnessing the collapse of our country right before our eyes with this demented, pamper-wearing fucking nut job in office, right? The way that the Democrats are running things, racism is not the top thing. And if you notice, they're the ones in power, and whenever something happens, when they get egg on their face because they did something stupid, it goes to racism, right?
Yeah.
So they're just dangling it in front of people's faces. And all of you sheep who can't think for yourself, you fall for it, and that's like the direction you're running. Yeah, I'm tired of the racism thing, because like I said, and this is my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people share the opinion, but it's not the top priority. I'm sorry. Get over it.
And this is not the thing. Look, we're not supposed to not have the space and the money to fight all of these fights at once. And that is the problem that I have with this incompetent motherfuckers in office, is that you're funding foreign countries. Okay, you're putting more money into the endless wars that the U.S. has not won a freaking war in the last 30, 40 years.
Exactly.
Name me a war that has not ended in the U.S. defeat. And we're putting more money into that, into foreign policy. We're putting more money into the pockets of big corporate America. But when it comes to like our issues, whenever we're talking about, hey, like this is a failed state. The only thing holding America together right now is the military-industrial complex. We get thrown with, oh my God, the Black and brown communities are suffering right now. And I'm like, I get it. We are. Yeah. But right now, I don't need you to create new fucking problems on top of the problems that we already have. And that is what is happening. And a lot of people are not focusing on that because they are in that fight that we're also simultaneously fighting against all the systems that have been put in place. So it's like I said, oh my God, hold on.
Excuse me, if I can just chime in for a moment. How about trying something radical? Actually coming up with some solution to some of these problems instead of complaining. I mean,
I'm glad you said my name. So this is what I thought about. No, let me stop. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, seriously. I mean, look, I'm 59 years old, and I've been hearing this forever. But yeah, I don't hear anybody talking about finding some sort of solution. Now, last week I spoke about what an NYPD cop can make after 5 years with overtime and night differential. They can make over $100,000 a year. Okay, that's one way that you can get into the middle class, and also by your involvement, do your part to try to improve the culture with the police. It's easy to talk about defund the police, but what are the solutions other than talk?
Exactly. Nobody wants to put in the work. It's like I said,
the solution was written almost 300 years ago, though, Denise, Jose, right? It's called the Constitution. And you know what? It works, right? Giving people the freedom to, because, I mean, listen, I don't care what anyone says or how they feel. This is the greatest country on earth because there's not a lot of places where you can do over there what you can do here. Like, let's be real. Right? Everybody craps on this country. Listen, do what you want, say what you want, that's fine. But follow the Constitution, follow the free market, stop allowing for crony capitalism, right? Because that's what we have in this country is crony capitalism. And we've been asleep at the wheel, and it's time to wake up. Because now we're at a critical point because people have been asleep. And I'm actually grateful that this jackass is the president right now because it's red pilling the entire country. And fuck that, it's red pilling the whole world as to what's really going on. That's the way, you know, the more people get red pilled, the more people hopefully will end up doing something. And the way you do stuff is by doing what they did in Virginia. Start and in New Jersey with that truck driver. Start at the local levels. Start taking over the city councils. Start taking over the school boards with America First people who care about the country. Start putting those people in place. And then from the city councils, you go up to the state or city legislatures, then to the mayors and the governors, and then you go Senate, Congress, and then eventually the president. It's a process that's going to take time, but that's basically the only way that we can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to put people that put us first. We need to put them in office. And I want to address something real quick. I see Terrell is feeling petty today. He's like, I don't come here no more, MK. I report this channel too. This is the problem. This is part of the problem of what we're talking today. The wokeism gone wrong. Why are you here? Why are you really? This is the ultimate stupidity display. You come here, and because you're not a moderator, you want to report a channel. Bye. Kick rocks. Kick rocks. Like I said, this stupidity that's coming from left and right is coming simply because we're failing to see the bigger picture, and people are like you were saying, Donnie, we're literally glued to mainstream media. And I go back to what we were discussing on Jose's channel, the censorship and how it started. And it's like I said on his channel on that stream. If you think about it, the Telecommunications Act of 1996 was supposed to take the 50 networks that we have with different fucking opinions. And what Bill Clinton did was like, oh, don't worry, I'm going to regulate this. And it gave us only 6 networks, but you're going to have the internet. And the internet is going to be like literally this unlimited source of information where you're not going to be censored in any way. And people bought that shit from Bill Clinton back then. And now we saw all those networks close down from 50 to only 6. And now the internet that was supposed to keep people to formulate their own opinions with having unlimited access to information, now we're going to be regulating that too and censoring what we can and cannot say. And that is the most un-American thing that we're seeing happening today, and it's going to keep happening until we start understanding these incompetent fucks have to be put out.
I mean, you're 100% right. But at the end of the day, if you are a liberal, right, if you voted Democrat within the last, let's say, 20 years, this is your fault. And people need to just own that. If you're a liberal or you voted Democrat, you just need to own it and just say, all right, no more. But like I said, you know what a lemming is? You know what that little animal is? It's like a small little animal, right? And a bunch of them, you can get them to run off a cliff. And that's what a majority of the population is. They're lemmings. They're just going to run off a cliff.
Yeah. And that's go ahead, Radical.
Sorry. I know that that there's a double-edged sword when it comes to liberalism. And I think we're starting to see that in pure display right now. You know, from the whole Chappelle stand-up, you know, fiasco, to, you know, gender is fluid, to now, we're starting to see that the whole, like Danny is saying, the whole thing about us versus them in reality is just really, there's no big boogeyman. This is only them. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I believe that if we do get somebody up in there that is not with that same agenda, I believe the same BS is going to happen like this last election. I believe that what they're going to say is, well, you know, this person won and a bunch of mail-in ballot votes were miscounted, but who cares? It is what it is. Say hello to your next Democratic president. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a huge problem, because there's video footage in Michigan where there was a truckload of blank ones. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to say too many certain words to get the stream cut off, but there was a truckload of certain pieces of paper.
There was I think there was like ready voted in ballots literally put on the tables and just ignored.
Exactly. So, but we're all happy, right? We're happy because Orange Man bad and he can't send any more mean tweets.
But this is the thing. But this is the thing though. Like, I understand why I do acknowledge that Trump was overly mediatized, you know, and he was basically in the headlines literally for 4 years straight, you know, no matter what it was, he was in the headlines. And I get that some of the things that he said was blown out of proportion, and I see why, you know.
No, everything he said was blown out of proportion.
I'm not gonna be. What happened?
It was everything, because when his impeachment trial happened, right, and he had the lawyers. His lawyers were defending him in Congress for the impeachment. Every single snippet of that, every audio snippet, every video snippet of this man, was taken out of context.
Investigated, was not, but yeah, not only taken out of context, but it was investigated, broke down apart, and all this other stuff. But what I'm trying to say is that yes, I see the hypocrisy and the double standard, with this whole thing. We have a person that's basically halfway dead. He's senile. He doesn't know what's up and down, left and right. He's farting all over the place, and
allegedly shitting himself in Rome. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, and the thing is that we think that this is a better choice because what one person said, about a certain group of people. Oh no, we can't have them. But yet, you know what? The person that we have now, forget his past, because it's not like he said worse things than Trump. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, these are both people in the same. They're both on the side of the same coin.
Absolutely, but if you think about it, I see it in a different way because I supported the Cheeto, even since 2015, and I'm gonna say it like this: right now, you have to be smart with your vote in this way. We know that the biggest bloc in America is the non-voters. It's 100 million people. Now, one thing I would say is that the majority of people don't vote because they don't believe in both systems. Now, the only thing that gets people in power is if they're able to persuade one side to swing to the other. And in all honesty, we saw how people voted for Biden now simply because they refuse to believe that the hatred that they have for Trump was manufactured by the media. And to be honest with you, the Biden hate and the people rejection of Biden right now, and Kamala is even worse. They have her in a closet somewhere because I haven't seen her in a few days.
Dude, she's gonna get adopted by aliens. That's how low. That's how low her approval rating is.
To be honest with you, I saw more money in my pocket. I saw more, even the black people that voted for Biden. I saw more black people being put out of jail, stupid sentences that were put in on them with the crime bill that Joe Biden manufactured in the 90s. I see them being put out on the street from jail. He freed 52,000 black men. I think we discussed that on your channel, Radical. And to be honest with you, it's like I said, you have to think like this. If the majority of people we know are not going to swing for a third party yet, America is not ready for that yet. You have to understand like this. If Republicans are giving you certain things that you want, but Democrats are not giving you anything you want, what is the intelligent vote?
Yeah, but Denise, you're asking a population that doesn't really have that many intelligent people. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm talking about as a collective, because Latinos we know supported Biden overwhelmingly as well, and that's the people I'm asking. Our vote matters.
Well, I mean, listen.
I have a lot of Puerto Rican friends that if you will tell them, "Oh, I'm a Trump supporter." Oh, you're blocked. A lot of people block me for that.
But with the information that I've been reading and what I've seen, let's be real. This dude, there's no way on earth that this dude got more votes than Barack Obama, let alone Donald Trump. Let's just keep it. Let's just call it for what it is. Let's call it for what it is.
Yeah, but it's like I said. It's look. The problem is, in all honesty, it goes back to what I'm saying with AOC, is the fact that you have all this macro type of politician that keeps telling people stupidity. And to be honest with you, it's insane that now identity politics, and I'm seeing it now, it's translated into our community as Latinos, and the pawn that's being used is AOC, just as the Democratic Party used Obama as a fucking puppet. And
that's not even anything, Denise. I'm starting to see, and mark my words, that Latinos, we're now going to be used the same way from the Democratic Party, the same way black people were used for the Democrats. I'm telling you
Absolutely.
right now.
Well,
Look
I
at what's
have
happening.
They're gonna start
there's a
pandering. Listen,
there's a caveat to that, Radical.
They're gonna start pandering to us.
They're
Like
already doing that.
Hardcore. You're gonna see whoever the Democratic nominee is gonna be. Watch them put song in their purse. You know what I'm saying?
Look at this. Look at
the
this.
thing is, the Latinos that they're gonna do that to are not gonna be people who live here or were born here. See, what people don't understand, right, is the whole crisis at the border. It's not about race. It's about protecting your home. This is our home, right? Radical, you have a front door, right? At your house, you have a front door?
I have a gate. No, let me stop. I have a front door.
No, but I'm saying you have a front door. Some people in front of their houses, they might have a small wall and a gate, right? That's I mean, it's decorative. It looks nice in front of some houses, but it can also be used as a deterrent, right? Part of the thing with the border is us protecting our home, which we should put the wall up, put up other deterrents to stop people from coming in illegally, right? But in this country, what Black people don't understand is that they're using these illegals to replace them, because a lot of Black people are saying, hold on, the Democratic Party is full of shit. A lot of Black people are leaving and voting Republican or Independent. They're starting to see the grift now. So this is why he's leaving the border open that way. And they're incentivizing all these illegals coming in from South America and all over the world, right? Because it's not just Mexicans, Peruvians, Colombians, etc., coming in through the southern border, right? In Panama, there was a caravan there a couple weeks ago when the Panamanian president, when she did an investigation onto who a lot of these people were, 56 of them were Al-Qaeda related. They were from the Middle East and they had ties to Al-Qaeda, right? But
not only that, like, look, for example, look, another okay, Latinos, we have our own Iron Dome, our own Israel Iron Dome, and that is the illegals that are traveling here. And I get it, I'm not politically correct, so if you get offended by me calling them illegals, kick rocks. But one thing I'm saying is, like, you know how it must feel for Latinos that had to come to this country and work for a fucking citizenship or a green card, pay taxes of the ass, to come here, work their asses off, just to see people that are coming here illegally get $450K in reparations. Why are we giving money to people that are not Americans?
Exactly.
Why are we putting this before?
Wait. Hold on. My name is Alejandro Gutierrez.
No speaking English.
I was separated at the border, so I deserve, you know what I'm saying? I deserve it.
You might as well book a trip to Mexico, Radical, throw your papers in the river and just cross illegally so you can get that money.
Exactly.
What you think Mr. Gutierrez, such as myself, did?
No speaking English, no habla inglés.
And the thing with that, right, is they're losing the African American vote. So if you notice, in a lot of Democrat cities, what they're doing is they're granting these illegals driver's license.
Yeah.
And they're using the driver's license as an ID, which it is. It's an ID.
Well, it's happening in New Jersey. It happens in New York.
Yeah.
And
they're using it for voting. And notice how the states where that didn't really do so good on the previous election night that we just had was states that didn't pass voter ID laws. But it's racist to ask somebody for their ID. That's racist. We can't do that.
Oh yeah, and you know what's crazy? Obama said in the past that the reason why he granted that was to quote unquote monitor how many illegals we had here. But in reality, that's not what it happened. That's not what happened.
There was a lot of states that voted against that. To be honest with you, I think was it New Jersey voted against that whole ID to illegal immigrants until recently. And New York just passed it, I think, last year.
Yeah, Governor Homo did it. Cuomo. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Cuomo finally approved it with the whole marijuana thing. You know, it was all a staged stunt, but he did do that. So
yeah, because because let's be real, like Trump was 100% right. There's election fraud, and okay, maybe it's not on a whole national scale. I get that, but there's still people who are not citizens of the U.S. and vote in the presidential election, and that's not fair, right? There's people who are here that they don't have any paperwork. They shouldn't be voting in our elections. They should have a specialized ID for these people when they come across.
Look at Wananako Sayajin saying, I guess y'all don't like Latinos gaining numbers because black people lose political power.
No,
I see how it is.
It has nothing to do with that.
That doesn't have nothing to do with that. The problem is,
we're used as pawns.
But let me finish.
Sorry,
Look, this is the thing. It's not about black people. Black people are just 13% of this country. We're talking about also the 81 or 86% of this nation is non-black. So it's not black people are winning this and black people are losing that. Stop focusing on black people. They're doing their own thing. What we're talking about here is that America is a toilet, is a failed state right now. We can't keep giving our money to other countries. It's like, for example, if I'm in my house and me and Melanated Knight are on a very strict budget and we keep giving our money for food to our neighbors.
For sex swings and shit.
You know, so it's like I said, it's retarded to me that we want to let's give $1 billion to Israel. That's the same shit that put Puerto Rico in the state. This is the same shit that put Puerto Rico in the state it is. I saw it happening in the micro, and now it's happening in the macro.
You're right, Denise. You're absolutely right. The fact that we're giving money to what wasn't it? I think was it last year or something like that. They were talking about giving money to Iran for gender studies. Like it's insane.
But Radical, who started that? Who started that? Obama did.
We should be focused on our own country first, and then focus on anything else if we can. But no, that's hemorrhaging money.
Radical, did I hear you correctly?
Yeah, about what?
About us giving us money to Iran to do a gender study. I thought they was our enemy. So we're giving money to our enemies now?
They're not our enemy. What you have to understand is that Obama had his head up the what is it, prime minister, or whatever his title is. He had his head up his ass, and he gave him how much money before he left office, before Trump died.
Guys, before we continue, hit the like button. I see 23 people here. Like I said before, I don't demand donations or anything. They're welcome if they are received. But I see 23 people here and only 16 likes. So make sure you hit that like button as you walk in. Now, Radical, continue with what you were saying.
So what I was going to say is, Jose, the thing is that it was supposed to be this bill was supposed to be part of a stimulus package for Americans, right? For Americans under this whole COVID-19 type of thing. Now, the fact that when you dig deep into that bill, you find out the majority of the money is going to go to foreign countries that have nothing to do with the C-19, American type of, help that Americans need. It has nothing to do with that. Talking about going to like Iran and giving them money for gender studies, Israel for this and all this other stuff.
For African American transgendered Rottweiler studies or some weird nonsense that they just come up with. This is how you tell Radical. This is how you're able to tell that a lot of these bills that they pass, like this infrastructure bill, quote unquote infrastructure bill, is 2,500 or 25,000 pages long, right? Nobody had a chance to read that shit. They jam-packed it with everything that they want, and it becomes a money laundering operation. So like, what was it? When Trump was in office, they wanted to give a couple billion to the Kennedy Center. But then when you look who's on the board of the Kennedy Center, I believe it was Dianne Feinstein or Nancy Pelosi. So it's a money laundering scheme. And the American public doesn't understand that. So when you see these large bills, that's why they were so pissed off with Trump, because Trump was like, I want to make a law to where the bills can be no more than 3 pages front and back, because it's ridiculous that you're jam packing all these things into these bills. You don't give people time to read them, and then you're adding all this crap. The bill gets passed, and the American people get screwed over.
No, he's absolutely right. And the thing is, mind you, I don't know if anybody remembers, but that bill that was signed for everybody else, right, didn't even get to Trump's desk. They waited for the election to happen. Biden gets in office, and that's the first bill Biden signs.
Exactly.
So this is a game again that these people are playing. Listen, I could say a lot of wrong that Trump did, but there is also a lot of right that he did, and I'm not gonna be shy about that. You know, obviously he did a lot of right. For example, the whole Patriot Act thing, he took that out of the table. He said, no, this is unconstitutional.
I challenge you to make a video on everything Trump did right.
Nah, you're bugging. It's gonna go against my interest. No, let me stop. No. I will.
I have a solution.
I was planning on making a video about the Democrats and Republicans and pointing out certain things that Trump did that was actually correct in my opinion. So that's still
you know you know what's a solution that I think will work. I know Lord Hokage has been trolling with it, but I have thought about like a lot of things. Like, for example,
that's not a troll, Denise. I'm just letting you know right now. That is not a troll.
I know. But he's been trolling with the female vote. Take the female vote, and it will be fixed. Look, if you take
that is true. It is true
though. Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's
not. Y'all be voting for kitchen shit and all that other stuff.
Oh my God.
I think the women in this country should have to take an IQ test before they get a special ID to be able to vote.
Oh my God! If you say that to the wrong woman, they will eat you, Donnie.
No, in order to vote, you got to parallel park first.
Exactly.
Very funny. No, but let me say something real quick. I think, look, if you don't pay taxes in this country, you should not vote. That's what I think. That's the standard. If you don't pay tax, for you to vote, you have to bring your last tax return.
So that should be the majority of the Democrats.
That should be the standard. That should be the standard.
To the gentleman, I forgot the name, who was saying, we must not like the numbers or whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter how many Latinos are in the country, right? It matters how many are here legally.
Yeah.
That's where the power comes from. If there's 7, let's say there's 7 billion Latinos in the country and only 3 million are legal, who gives a fuck about the rest? They're irrelevant.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
I wanna talk about the whole Latino thing for 1 second. We have to, as a Latino, I believe that Latinos who do come here and who is born here have to understand one thing, that we have been used as a political pawn against Black folks. This is something that we have to be real about, because in order to economically stifle a certain group of people, they use us for those same type of jobs. You feel what I'm saying? So when we come into this country, you know, for the most part, we already come in with a mindset of conservative type of mindset, and majority of Latinos do vote Republican because they have those type of values. You know what I'm saying? But then it gets all, you know, convoluted the more that we stay here and we start actually agreeing with the Democratic type of ideology. So I think as Latin people, we got to step away from the whole, like I kept on saying before, and Denise kept on saying too, I think we got to step away from this whole thing and actually look at the bigger picture. Who am I getting used? I'm getting used by both parties. Okay, I'm going to now leverage my vote to see who's going to give me what type of benefits. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody else gets it, except for the people who need it.
Because we need to look. One thing we need to do, radical, is that we have to stop looking at your vote as something to be bought, and people have to start. And this is something that a lot of my Latino folks struggle with. We need to start understanding, if you're legally documented to be in this country, you have to put America first, and you have to become an American. I get it. It's okay to be part of your nation, of your flag and whatnot. That is fine. Keep it on your social setting. On a political stance and a financial stance, you're an American first. And you have to understand that regardless of where you stand in this, regarding your collectivity, you have to understand that it's not about who's gonna buy my vote. It's more about what's best for America. Treat America like it's a person. And we as Latinos, we're America's hands. And if America's hands are not working for America, what can America really freaking do?
That's true. No, that's absolutely true. I was having this conversation with a person on Twitter, and they said, you know, black folks built this country. And I'm like, you're absolutely right on that. But this is the other side to it. Because of the civil rights bill, America took black folks out of the equation. Now who's maintaining America? Latin people, because they're making us do it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, America needs a servitude class. And who's better than people that are desperate?
Exactly. And we became that servitude class. The thing is, I don't think a lot of Latin people like to even say that or like to admit that, because who wants to admit that they're a server? Who wants to admit that they're a constant worker with no future but to work? You know what I mean? So a lot of Latin folks like to just say, well, you know, I do this for me. You know, all they give the little excuses. But at the end of the day, we have to start seeing our leverage vote as we got to leverage it and see which one am I getting played with, and actually start putting out some demands. Okay, I want this and this and this and this and this and this. Because let's be honest, I am starting to see that the Democratic Party is becoming desperate to the point where they're going to say, screw black folks, we're going to start pandering to Latin people. They're the next ones. And I'm going to start seeing a bunch of pandering. What do you keep in your purse? Oh, a bunch of adobo. You know what I mean? So this is the type of thing that I'm starting to see. And we should not fall for the okie doke. That's all I'm saying.
But the thing is that you got to look beyond the pandering. Right. So, they're going to pander, and it might be like you might find it offensive or whatever. Like, you have to look past that, because number one, like to what you just said, Radical, you can't really stress it too much, because like, let's say you crossed the border or you got here, however you got here, like you're in the greatest country on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like, hands down. And, you know, and I get it. Some people don't feel that way, and that's cool. Like, you're entitled to your opinion. But you're in a country where you can go from being a dishwasher to a billionaire, right? Jeff Bezos started Amazon out of his garage. You know, there's so many success stories. Look at the NBA. A lot of those guys came from nothing, and they're millionaires now.
Look, I'm gonna address this that Blood Moon is saying. She's like, many Latinos starve being servers, but raise their children to go to college and become successful Americans. They will always be servers, might as well be us. Look, that was good during the baby boomer era. We established already that the return on investment of college doesn't exist anymore. It's not here anymore. It's not. It's like literally you're telling people, you want to work, give me $150K. That's literally what college is. So even if you're,
I've met so many college graduates still being servers, and they have debts up to their eyeballs. You know, the biggest scam, in my opinion, I'm not speaking for nobody else, just in my opinion, the biggest scam is the college institution, to the point where you have to get, you know, not outside of getting, you know, these little minority loans to go to college or whatever the case is. them joints run out after a year.
Yep.
And you got to go to college for 4 years for whatever major you're trying to get or more. And guess what? You're going to start getting loans, and these people are going to give you that money. But guess what? You're going to have to pay that joint back. Now you're going to be working because you're trying to get out of debt. And not only that, now your credit score is getting screwed over. And it's all a losing game. College does not guarantee you a job.
No,
excuse me.
It doesn't.
If I can just chime in for a second.
Go ahead.
Okay, look, let me just tell everybody. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration, but with all that, I was not able to get a job in that field. Where I was able to get a job? In social services. Why? Because I happened to be educated who was bilingual, but I was not able to get a job in the field that I studied. The fact of the matter is, for millennials, college doesn't work. And I'm a college graduate.
That's because they were sold the bogus dream of go to college and let's take up women's studies. Who gives a shit about women's studies and women's history? Let's be real.
Nobody. Not even this woman.
we live in a first world country, right?
Exactly. How many stories do we have to read about them getting into car accidents and crying?
Exactly.
My God.
But the thing is, you know, and Trump said it best. I think it was like his 3rd or 4th year as president. We need trades because the economies grow, countries grow. We need people who are doing things in infrastructure so that it can be maintained. You know, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but what are these kids going to college for? Oh, well, I'm doing gender studies. I'm doing underwater basket weaving. All these nonsense degrees that they're getting.
What?
Yeah, they're doing underwater basket weaving and all this types of nonsense.
Oh my God.
Excuse me, guys. I need to address Blonde Moon for a second.
Oh, okay. She said that you mop floors.
Okay,
right,
first of all, you are assuming that I couldn't learn a trade by you making that comment. With all due respect, okay. Until you know me very well, that's a speculation on your part. I'm not saying college is not good for everybody. What I'm saying is, for certain people, college is not the solution. I mean, as long as you can develop marketable job skills, whether it be as a plumber or a carpenter or a construction worker, whatever, college is, I mean, it worked for me. But it's not going to work for everybody. That is all I'm saying.
Not only that, we have firefighters and police officers making 6 figures out here, and they didn't have to go to college. Let's just keep it what it is. But now, guys, I'm going to start wrapping this up because...
Can I say something?
Yeah, because you came in, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. The rest, like Radical does, we're going to have 2 minutes, okay? Go ahead, Lord Hokage.
So you thought I was trolling. I really wasn't trolling. I was being dead serious. If you really look at the voting demographics, white women and the black community as a whole vote Democratic the most. So if you just take their vote away, I think the country would be fine, right? Or if you just take women's vote away, period, right? The country would be fine because that's what's really killing us, right? No disrespect to the ladies in the chat. Love you guys, but you guys are really killing us for the sake of progression, right? And it hasn't really worked out for you in your best interest, right? And for black people, nothing since like the Civil Rights Bill, which benefited white women more than black people, but that's a topic for a different discussion. Nothing since that vote, their vote haven't mattered for anything. They literally voted people who work against their own interests, right? So why vote if you're just going to do that, right? Your vote matters. And if you're just voting for people who are just going to imprison you, enslave you, and just have you locked in chains, metaphorically, you know what I'm saying, mentally and physically, then you might as well just not vote or have your vote counted in the first place. And if women just went back to the kitchen, and I'm not trying to be chauvinistic, I'm being serious, right? Like the world will be a better place. Wages will go up if women just stop playing around and get out workforce, wages will go up. We see it now. There's a worker shortage. Wages are going up as well, right? Like, we just need to get women back to the kitchen. Like, I'm sorry, no disrespect to the ladies. I'm not trying to troll. I'm just being serious. You guys joining the workforce did not help society. It actually hurt you and hurt society, and it hurt your children, right, the most. So, I don't know. You do what you want to do with that. That's all I got to say. I kind of disagree with the college thing. College actually matters, but it matters where you go to school, and it matters what you major in college. Those are the things that matters. I'm not going to say that college is not important, because college matters for a lot of degree paths. The only reason why you see companies like Google, Apple, even some of the Wall Street companies that are not looking at people without college degrees is because white males are not going to college at an alarming rate, right? So it's to benefit their own people. Now, you can benefit from that. However, if you get to go to like an NYU, a Harvard, a Columbia, right? None of this fucking like Howard, these black colleges, those things are trash, right? Clearly none of those, but like a prestigious university, you can truly benefit in life for that. Like, I'm sorry, you can do it. Look at the Asians. The Asians are killing it so much that they have to discriminate against them to stop them from getting into college. Like, if they can do it,
Harvard.
why can't they? Not just Harvard though, in Stanford as well, in UC Berkeley, in what is the UC San Luis Obispo, that other fucking like college out in California, like all the Ivy Leagues. If they're getting discriminated on because they're scoring too high, right?
One more minute.
Scores.
One more minute.
There's no reason blacks and Hispanics can't do that, right? When I was in college, I was a part of the Hispanic Society of Engineers and the Black Society of Engineers, and I'm telling you, like, it was pretty bleak. There was not many blacks or Hispanics in my computer science classes. It just wasn't. I can count them on 1 to 2 hands. If I combine them, 2 hands. If I single them out, there's 1 hand. So we have to get in jobs like tech and medicine and law. That is it. It does nothing else matters. Okay, military. That's about it. Everything else is just smoke and mirrors, right? If you're not going to go to college for one of those, go get a fucking trade, and that's it. And then this entrepreneurship, everybody's not meant to be entrepreneurs. Some of you motherfuckers can't lead yourself out of a paper bag, so stop trying to be an entrepreneur, right? Go work for someone else, develop a high-value skill, and work for someone else and get paid lots of money and invest your money. That's all I have to say.
This man deserves a slow clap.
Look, one thing I'm saying is I understand your point. Don't go anywhere, Lord Hokage. We're going to continue this backstage. But I agree with, to a degree, as a woman, and I'm going to explain why. A lot of women, when we gain a lot of independence in the 70s and the 80s and whatnot, we exchange our husbands for welfare. And unfortunately, a lot of women vote with that in mind. Like, whoever offers me more welfare, I'm going to vote for, even if it fucks up the country as a whole. And usually it's men that end up paying the burnt of that eventually, because they're the ones actually putting the work out there. And a lot of women are on welfare or depend on this quote unquote programs and this mental gymnastics that they create that they have to advocate for eventually so that they can support women. Because in this society, to be honest with you, a lot of women do not engage in professions that are sustainable for themselves, let alone a freaking family. So, of course, they're going to need the backup or the cushion that the government can provide, because that has become their husband. So I understand why he's saying that women should not be allowed to vote. But in my opinion, there is women like myself out here that exercise critical thinking. And for the sake of us, I think that we should keep the vote in women. We should not take it away. But if you're a woman on welfare, that's what I said. If you pay taxes in this country and you can provide your tax return with the stamp or any kind of pin that we can have from the IRS, if you can provide that at the earns, then you should vote. And that's the standard. So it's like I said, the whole voting thing, women tend to vote for whatever panders to them simply because they're on welfare. So like I said, if you cannot provide a tax return, you should not fucking vote, because it doesn't fucking affect you. Now, I will have Jose, Danny, and then Radical Latino. Jose, final thoughts.
Well, first of all, thank you, Denise, for allowing me on the stream. It was a very interesting topic. I just want to say to people, just don't vote on the party label. Actually do your research as far as who's running and for what, and do your due diligence. It's great to hear from you guys. I just want to remind people about my stream. I will be going on live Tuesday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. And the topic will be the mentally and intellectually challenged, which is my umbrella term for all slow taps. So that being said, I'm going to close the same way I always close. People, please be careful out there, because we're still dealing with C-19, and we must do everything possible to limit our contact from the mentally, intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, our brain cells will begin to deteriorate and die.
Okay, Jose, thank you very much for your input. Don't go anywhere. Donnie, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Wow. Fuck AOC. Fuck Ilhan Omar. Send that bitch back to her country. Fuck. What's her name? Ileana Presley, whatever her name is, and Rashida Tlaib. Fuck that bitch also. Nancy Pelosi. She can go to hell. And let's go, Brandon.
Okay. Thank you, Donnie. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna put you backstage. Radical, final thoughts.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Final thoughts. I'm gonna say, AOC, I love you, boo. You know, we got you. We'll hold you down. No, I think we as people with a lot with these type of radical type of ideologies, like me and you, Denise, I think we need to have more real conversations like what we just had right now. Yeah. Not only because it will curb the disinformation about, oh, they're just a bunch of liberal cucks who talk about BLM all day, you know. Yeah. When in reality, we don't go for the okie doke at all, you know. Yeah. Me myself, there's a lot of things that I agree with Republicans about, and a lot of things that I agree with Democrats about. The thing is that I believe these people are just going against our best interests and just telling us a bunch of word salad, like you just said, micros and macros and all this other stuff, the front, the back, the up and down, you know, because they just want to, you know, continue on getting their vote and getting paid by the only you know, the corporations that are, you know, that are maintaining their type of lifestyle. I think that we definitely need to have more conversations like this. I think that we definitely need to have some more workshops and brainstorming, because again, I see Latinos, I see Latin Americans going down a bad road. And there's a lot of us that are waking up. But the thing is that we're not waking up fast enough as other people. Black Americans are already waking up, and they're probably, I'm gonna say, 2 to 3 years ahead of us. Politically, they're more advanced than us. This is something we have to understand. Yeah. And as Latin people, if we stay on the sidelines, still thinking that having, you know, Trump sign a Goya bill and we're gonna be eating rice and beans and everything's gonna be all good, that you're mistaken. I don't see that as progress. I don't see that as something positive for our movement nor for our people. I see that as pandering, as anything else. And I really want to see what the Democratic Party is going to bring in to show what they have in store. And I already know that they most likely going to start having their own Hillary Clinton hot sauce in the purse moment. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to bring the micro and the macro.
Exactly. The thing is, why it's so hard for a lot of people to get a good grasp on Latin folks is because there are some outliers out there, like in Florida and some in California, who vote Republican, right? But again, Those are the outliers, and they're literally probably 1 to 2% of the Latin people who actually vote. The majority of Latin people vote Democrat, and we need to stop that. We need to, like I said before, step back and actually see it for what it is. You know, those are my final thoughts.
Thank you, Radical, for tuning in. I'm going to put you in the backstage. Don't go anywhere. Guys, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like I said, this can go for hours. We can talk about this for hours simply because there is a lot of things to talk about. And there's a lot of things, not just the micro and the macro and the front and the back and the known and the unknown, but it's just some bullshit overall that's being fed to us. And as Latinos, we owe it to ourselves to also be respected. And it's like I said, I'm speaking, and I do feel for the people that are crossing the border. I don't want people to think that I don't. But at the same time, you know, you have to make it work with what you got. And right now, we have a lot of Latinos here in America that need policies that work for them being Americans rather than just giving money out. We need people to start realizing that we don't need to give billions of dollars to Israel when right now we're in a failed state. We need to wake up to this reality. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because I see a lot of confusion, like Radical was just saying, and we saw Dani and Jose and Hokage. There's a lot of confusion with people. And let me tell you something, make no mistake, right now, I see the Democratic Party is basically a slave plantation. It's a slave plantation, and a lot of Black folks are leaving it. And it's time for us to leave it. It's time for us to not even enter it. And I see a lot of our people already caressing the idea and, like, you know, coqueteando with the idea of like being there because there's good water. Oh, look, it's a cute plantation, but make no mistakes, those chains are gonna go from Black folks onto you. And if you think, oh my God, let me just focus, I'm different, I'm not like African Americans, you're just worse, because they look at us as the new servants, the new servitude. If you don't believe me, ask a fucking Puerto Rican. Ask a Puerto Rican how America sees us. And that's all I got to say, guys. Thank you very much. And one thing I want to leave you guys with is this. No matter what I say, no matter what anybody said here, no matter what you see on MSNBC or CNN or whatever the hell you see, just use your freaking brain. And with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for allowing me into your homes and your devices. This has been another stream that was needed. Tomorrow, I will come back at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time with Puerto Rican for Dummies. And like I said, we're going to come with more information, and I'm going to focus on the stupidity that's trying to be pushed into our community during this new season of Latinsplaining. So make sure you don't miss anything. Like and subscribe. Also share this video with your friends, your abuelas, your tias that actually are drinking the Kool-Aid so that they can wake up and not fall for it, like we have seen with our brothers and sisters in the African American community, and we can make something work. Thank you guys very much. It has been a pleasure. Follow me on Instagram. You can DM me. We can laugh about whatever. We can make opinions. I want to hear from you. Make sure you follow me. And with that being said, this has been another episode of Latinsplaining with Denise, all about business, finances, and sometimes politics and fun. Thank you very much for tuning in. Peace.